Say, what are we doing, honey?
We'll be modifying this piece of wood and making a coffee table.
Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back for the second part of the video.
Yes, it's your girl Sia
And Romario.
and for this video, we are finally
Getting to the pour of the tabletop.
yes. So if you didn't see the first one, go back, see how we made the mold.
Alright, because it took some time.
Yes, but that's what you'll need first if you don't already have one. And yeah, now we're here.
Yep, so
what are we doing?
alright, so now that we're on to getting to pouring the resin into the gap in the middle. Alright, so first off, the video that we previously posted, we left off at putting silicone in the corners of the mold. So now that that's ready to go, we have the wood placed where we need it to be, and now we have candles as weights to press down the wood that's here. In case, I guess, resin try to seep under it, we have minimal amount of space for the resin to go through.
Yeah, improvising something heavy.
Alright, and that looks nice.
Yes. Okay, alright.
Okay, so now we're practically ready to pour. Before we do anything as well, we have to make sure that the table is leveled because you want your resin to be leveled when it's done, when it's curing. So I have a big level. I got this from Lowe's, I believe. Lowe's or Home Depot, whichever one. Just get you a good size level. Place it down. And this is 24 inches, by the way. And
Yeah,
this is...
okay, it looks like it's 2 feet.
Yep. Alright, this is leveled. I already checked before. It's good. So now we can move on.
Alright.
But do not skip that step. I advise you. Alright. Next up, of course, I always have gloves. Safety first and always. Okay. So this gap varies in size depending on what side of the board, the table we're on. So we did a little estimate and guessed that we will need 1.5 gallons to fill that gap with resin.
So normally you use a resin calculator, right?
Yes, I use a resin calculator. I'll post a link on the bottom below to where you can find what I use, and all you gotta do is get dimensions and of course the thickness included and how your end result is gonna be, and it will tell you how much gallons, how much ounces of resin you'll need to fill that space. Okay, love. We'll need some paper towel. Yes.
A little dip.
Can't have that. Make sure to always wipe out or wash out all of your equipment before using it.
Don't want little dust particles in your final product.
That's right. Okay, guys. So now let's get to the mixing of the resin, so we can get the show on the road.
Yes, we can get to the fun part.
Alright. Always have gloves. I always keep a whole bunch of gloves with me because I use it a lot, and you have to change gloves very often during the process, especially if you touch the resin. You don't want to keep that glove on for too long because you'll be covering everything with resin when you grab it, and you don't want that. So I need to pop this open. Keep toothpicks with me because you never know when you need it, and you practically always need it. We have 1.5 gallons, so we're going to be using everything that we have. When you're doing, the way we do the mixing of the resin, we start with pouring the resin and then the hardener. I'm not sure if anybody does it any other way, but I would always advise to pour part A in first. As I do want to do this, That looks so insane. So we just poured part B into the mixture, and we're gonna mix this all up for 4 minutes. Hey Siri.
Set a timer for 4 minutes.
Okay,
Perfect.
Yeah, for real. Okay, so I got a mixer. I got this off of Amazon, so you can see the link below if you want to get one of these yourself. And of course, the screw gun, you can get it from Home Depot, Lowe's, Amazon, any way you prefer, and any big box. Oh well, what would hardware stores? All right, we're gonna mix this for 4 minutes. So it's all done now. Now it's on to the next step. So the idea is for us to pour a clear amount of resin on the surface, then mix the rest of it with white. Mix it with white, pour it, and then we're going to be using some different colored alcohol ink inside of the bed of white. So this is what we will be using. We'll of course put a link down below. We got this from Amazon. Okay, this is taken care of. Okay guys, have a torch at hand when you guys start, because you guys will have to use it to pop the bubbles that rise to the surface. Alright, ready for this, baby?
Yeah.
This is the moment we've been all waiting for.
Yes. Sure everything's clean.
Always make sure it's clean.
Clean, pristine.
Alright.
Woo! Let's get this forward.
Let's do it. We always like to use so before mixing another color into the full amount of resin that you have, I would advise always placing some in a cup just for future use. For maybe you need to add more color to add a specific color into the project. You'll have the extra resin afterwards, so you can play around with it. And if you just still need it for the regular base, the base color, definitely just take it back. But at least it's a safety. Right. You can't get it back once you change the color once. And of course, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below.
Yeah, how do you turn white back to clear or red back to clear?
Tell me about
Imagine
it.
that.
So now this is gonna be white.
Yes.
So we're gonna do a mixture of metallic white metallic, and pure white. Okay, so we put some white powder in there. We used 2 different brands. One is from Stone Cold Epoxy, and the other is from Black Diamond. Of course, once again, we'll put the links below for you guys to find them. That's pure white. And as we said, we're gonna be placing some metallic, white metallic as well. because it just looks beautiful like diamonds. You can see the sparkle.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, it's ready. Wow. I don't know if you can see how beautiful it looks. But here it goes. Yeah. Let's let the white push the clear outward.
Oh, that looks so fun. Oh my gosh. Now they're making me want to be like, okay, just the white, just the white. It's
Really?
So pretty.
The white really does look crazy cool. I'll be so ecstatic if it's enough. Boy, this is so cool.
That's really cool. It's like the clear just stays at the sides. That's gonna be so cool. Huh? But it looks so cool. Because it's like it's holding everything else in the middle. Kinda.
That's not bad the way it is either.
Yeah, I like it.
So we also keep palette sticks. Palette, right?
Yeah.
Popsicle sticks. In case we need to do, well, we always keep it so we can manipulate the resin in there. And also if we had any additives, like the I'll call them toppings, the alcohol ink, we could just manipulate it using these sticks. So there you go. You want to start playing around with it, or you want to leave the outside?
I think I want to leave.
Because with the smooth and whatever, it gets like that. And it gets so, and that's the metallic.
I want it like big.
Hmm?
I want it big.
Okay.
No small.
No.
Swirl.
What would you like in there? Because we need to start moving before this start. So.
Yes. So yeah, we can start with the brown too.
Okay. Just a dot to see how it looks.
Yeah, let's try the dot over here where I started swirling.
Alright, we're gonna use brown. We're gonna use brown alcohol ink first. Let's see how this comes out.
Let's see.
We're gonna just experiment from here on. Oh shit.
I'm loving it already.
Me too.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So what color would you want into that in there?
Let me see the orange. Let me see the orange next to the brown. Let's see. Hopefully it gives me like different tints.
The tint will be brown, orange. So how much color do you want to use overall?
So it'd be the brown, the orange, and I wanted to use the black too.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Look at how that's coming out, baby. That's it. So I just want to be like just a touch,
Oh, the black is nice.
That is nice to know.
Join it.
Yeah.
And do you want more?
Get in. Oh yeah, I want more brown. More browns, more orange, and then it's like a touch of black.
Okay.
So yeah, get in there. Get around here.
Alright, now I'm gonna just pour. Wow.
This is what I'm talking about.
So we didn't need to use the spare resin for anything else, so we just poured it clear right over the top. So then it got translucent.
Yeah, definitely need some more drops. This looks so nice. This looks so nice. I really like how your side was, and I was just trying to add some more. Like,
Oh no, you wild out in color on that side. So that's why I was like,
because mine was much darker, so I put more orange.
Okay, but then
It was like
more
such
color.
a dim brown, so I added more orange so it could pop like this side.
Oh, you like going mild?
Yeah, I really like that side, and I liked how it was too before swirling it, but I couldn't like not like lessen it on my side.
Yeah.
And, still love it. Still looks great.
So this is where we are right now. We're gonna wait for it to get a little bit harder or start to harden, and then we're gonna go and put our final touches into the design. But comment below what you guys think so far and how it looks and the colors that we used.
Yes, I love it. I personally love it. It is coming out exactly how I envisioned it. So
Yeah, I'm loving it. It's pretty nice. We'll be right back when it starts to harden a little bit.
yep.
See you guys soon. So I was able to get it out of the mold. It took some time, more time than I thought, but it's done. And this is the result. This is how it looks. It looks beautiful through with sun hitting it from the back. And also to show you guys the back, this is how it came out of the base of the mold. Of course, they gotta get cleaned up a bit, but this is the outcome. So next, as mentioned, is to sand down all the blemishes that was created from resin that dripped on the wood, and also smoothing down this section as well where the resin overflowed onto the wood from the gap that we poured with clear resin. Just gonna make it a little bit smooth and clean it up a bit, and then get to the flood coat. So stay tuned. Time to get some sanding done. Okay guys, so I'm about to go do the sanding, and I'm gonna be wearing this respirator because I'm gonna be, regardless, you should be wearing a mask or a respirator to prevent the dust from, prevent yourself from inhaling the dust. But I'm gonna be in a closet, with the room. This is the room that I have to get it done, so gotta work with what you have. So yeah, mask up, and I'm about to get to work. I'll show you guys the results after sanding the table or the tabletop. So this is where we are right now. I was able to remove the blemish that was here. It's practically cleaned up. Just gonna go to, I just finished using 150 grit sandpaper. I'm gonna go to 220. I'm supposed to step it up in increments, but honestly I don't have the rest of them, so I'm just gonna go to 220, make it as smooth as possible, and then we'll get to the pouring. So this is where we are. The sanding is practically done right now. The sides of the table still do have some resin that filled in on each side, and it didn't fill all the way up to the top of the surface. So I'm contemplating cutting each side so it's not off. It's not off balance rather. So that's what I'm debating right now. There's a chance that I could get away with leaving it, but I don't want to take any risk. I want to have the table with a beautiful finish in the end. So stay tuned for the next step, which is potentially cutting the ends of the table. But if I don't have to, then I'm just gonna go straight into pouring. Okay guys, so I found a way to cut the sides of the table, but not too much effort per se, and it's by using a router. I'm just gonna trim the ends. I had to make this setup to have a straight end in the back, so when I run this past the sides, it's gonna trim the ends and make it straight towards the board that I placed in the back. I had to clamp it down on each side to get it like that. I'm gonna let this pass on the top and trim down the ends. Okay, I have a little bit of space here where it's gonna be cut off. So you guys will see the results soon. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so it's done. The sanding is done. It took a few hours, but that was expected. I'm gonna show you how it looks now after it's sanded and right before the flood coat is poured over it. So this is how it looks. All the shine is gone, of course, because it was sanded down. But once we put the last coat over it, the flood coat, then all the shine is gonna come back, and all the dimension is gonna also come back as well. It's gonna be revived. But this is how it is. I did end up cutting the sides, and it came out really good. Gotta love this corner right here, this resin and the wood. I still gotta dust it off a little bit before putting on the coat, but this is immediately after sanding it. This is how it looks. And this is so beautiful. Yeah, I'm happy I was able to get the sides cut down as good as it has been. Even down here is beautiful. But yeah, once this is completed, well, once I get over to the pour, you will see everything revive. Yep, and that's the next step. I'm just messing. The next step is to clean up just a bit. I'm really dusty right now.
Energy is fire, conversation is right. If you stay tonight, baby, I might let you take all of me. Want you here, need your mind in these sheets, completely intertwined in our minds, yeah. Tell your future like a psychic, baby, you gon' end up right in my bed. Chemistry is science, I could play it cool, but I'd be lying. future like a psychic. Baby, you gon' end up right in my bed. Chemistry is science. I could play it cool, but I be lying. Don't read you like a psychic. I'ma tell you something, you gon' like it. Chemistry is science. Better than what you was fantasizing. Tell your future like a psychic. Baby, you gon' end up right in my bed. Chemistry.
Okay guys, so we're ready to put the table legs on. I went ahead and placed the table legs where we want it to be, and that is 9 inches away from the edge of the table. Well, 9 inches to center of the table legs. And width weight, it's centered, and that leaves 2 inches and a quarter on each end of the table leg as well, to the table width weight. So the screws I'll be using is 3/4 inch in some sections where there's mostly wood, because I don't believe it's going to be shown on the front from the top. And in other sections where there's only resin, I'm afraid that the 3/4 inch screw is going to show. Though it may not, I don't want to take the risk, so we're going to use 1/2 inch screws. I've already marked out the holes where it's going to be, so I'm going to go ahead, remove them. I'm going to use a drill bit first to drill in to where the screws are going to go, just to give it a head start, just to give it a path to get down in the hole. Why I'm doing this is because sometimes on wood, the wood splits if you was to just drill the screw straight into it. If you was to pre-make a hole, then that would avoid any cracks or splits in the wood. So that's the approach I'm going to take. I highly doubt that it will happen if it was only resin, but you know, again, I don't want to take any risks, so I'm just going to pre-drill some holes to guide the screws into. And so let's get to it. Okay guys, the legs are on. I didn't put screws in every single hole because I believe that it's stable enough with just a few. And I also didn't put in screws where there's mainly resin. I just have that fear that it's going to show on the top of the tabletop. So if I don't need them, I'm not going to use them. Right now I have a lot of screws in on each leg and it's stable, very stable. And we won't be moving the table much, so it wouldn't have much, there won't be much disturbance in the screw holes to wiggle them out over time. So yeah, now to put this where it belongs and show you guys how it looks.